YouTube universe. What's going on, all my hitmen and Harley Quinns? You know who it is. It's your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist who's with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful, Hitman Thornton, Ferrari Action T Vizzle. Yes, people, this is late. This is getting out to you really late. Normally it would have dropped. I would have done this and had it dropped by either Sunday or Monday. But like always, once again, a lot going on. You know, got the regular day job, got other stuff going on. Plus, I wanted to go back and watch all the episodes back to back to back of WandaVision to take it all in, be able to drink it in. You understand? Be able to drink it in and see it one more time before I did this to really take in what I was watching and really understand it from this standpoint. And all I got to say is bravo, Kevin Feige. Bravo. Bravo, Catherine Hahn, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Beck did a phenomenal job on this show. Acting wise, everything, just a phenomenal job. Somebody is getting an Emmy or what, something from this. Trust. That's how good the show was. But let me hop right to it, because doing 8 and 9, you know, just going to cut right to the chase instead of going into a lot of detail. Okay, 8, you know, Wanda, basically 8 was a big flashback for both Agatha and Wanda. Agatha, she goes back to, you know, her coven, you know, kind of remind me of the episode of American Horror Stories when they did the witches, the covenant thing, kind of remind me of that a little bit. So kind of opens up her, you know, hand behind her back. And I thought it was going to go to that whole Salem witch trials back in the day, way back in the day, when women were getting burned at the stake and all that, because people say they were witches and all that. Turns out they just had bad cramps time of the month. But I know that was wrong. Don't care. But it turned out it was the coven herself that was bringing Agatha to the stake. You know, basically hemming her up because she was dabbing into some stuff that she shouldn't have been. You know, magic-wise. She was dabbing into some magic that she shouldn't have been. Like, hey, this is grown folk stuff. You ain't ready for this. You don't know nothing about this. And so all the witches and Mama Witch, now I don't know if that was really her actual mother or just the mother of the witches. But they're always saying, you know, she's, you know, Agatha's trying, hey, no, I can handle the power. I can handle the magic. You know, let me do this. They're like, no, we ain't having that. Ain't having that. You broke a rule. You broke a rule. Okay, time for you to get that ass whooping. So they all started blasting her with that ray of light, and she's up there, but she was just fucking with him. Because as she was taking all that power in, she was all, but she was bullshitting. Then she just like, nigga. And it turns out, as when they were blasting her with that power, she was actually absorbing their power, draining them, which is one of the abilities she learned. And she drained all her sister's powers, and then Mama Witch is like, girl. No, we ain't having this. Slap. And and you know, so mom and daughter going at it, but again, Agatha sucked it up and drained her. All right. And interesting, when Mama was blasting her, she had these little, you know, horns, not horns, but something like that, like a crown, similar to the Scarlet Witch, kind of appearing on her head, you know, like little energy things forming. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So, little flashback for her. Then go back to where Agatha has Wanda all up in her basement, you know, chained up, you know. Not chained up, you know, all legs shackled, all that with the energy binds and all that. So basically, Agatha just wants to know, how is Wanda able to do all this? How are you able to do all this power, girl? Huh? Talk to you, girl. What's cracking? Tell me how you're able to do this. And so Wanda's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I got, because a lot of things Wanda did was just on instinct. Some stuff she knows she can do, other stuff she doesn't. Basically, she doesn't know her own strength. So Agatha decides to take her on this whole, um, Christmas Carol, Scrooge McDuck type of thing. Hey, this is your life. Basically, just wanted to take her back through her life to find out, basically, to find out how she's able to do this. What caused her to be able to do all this? And so it goes to her in Sokovia with her brother and her family, and just like a lot of us predicted and figured, that she grew up watching a lot of the old school TV shows, Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler, the Dick Van Dyke Show, I Love Lucy, all those shows. I even saw Malcolm and the Mother. Dad had a case full of VHS tapes. I guess that he sells for money, and so they always sitting there watching that, having a good old time, laughing, joking, and doing what families do. Movie night. And next thing you know, bam, the bomb hits. The bomb drops. Because obviously there's war and stuff going on in Sokovia outside that they try to ignore. And obviously watching those TV shows is an escape for them. But that bomb drops just as her brother Pietro in Age of Ultron and Wanda was explaining to Ultron what happened to him. About what happened in their lives when the bomb dropped. The bomb dropped with Tony Stark's name on it and everything. So it kind of shows that happening. But it shows when that bomb hit, basically killed her parents. Her and her brother were still there, and they went and hid under the bed, but they saw the blinking light on the bomb. So next thing you know, you see her just kind of reaching out, because I was kind of wondering what she was doing, but it turns out Wanda has powers as a child all along. It's just when she went through that experiment, Strucker's experiment and whatnot, it just amplified and enhanced her power even more. See, it was already there. Just got steroided up from the Mind Stone. You know what I mean? So, basically, unbeknown that she just used that power to stop the bomb. And then Agatha took her through another thing where it shows her going through the experiment, and shows her going into the room where that glow stick of destiny was, that Loki was messing around with, and it shows her having a connection with the Mind Stone and all this glowing light, because all the scientists were in there saying not everyone survives this, and she goes in there, it's all glowing and shining and breaks through. Then she sees this image. It's like a silhouette image of her, the Scarlet Witch, dressed up in the comic book costume, But it's just a silhouette. You really can't see the face. So you don't know, okay, this is a silhouette of past Scarlet Witches or is it a silhouette of her? I'm guessing it was her. So, and after all that, then Agatha takes her when she went to the Sword base to basically get Vision or to see Vision, one of the two. So she went in there, asked for the director, and they was kind of, messing with her, playing games with her at first. And the director said, send her up. The dude at the table said, okay, or the desk said, okay, you can go up. So she used a little powers, she was flossing a little bit. Bam, used the powers to open up the door. She went up to see the director. And to her horror, there was her boo down there on the table, just in pieces, dismantled. If it was a human being, it would have been gross. It would have been very disturbing to see. But still, it was for her. And the director was trying to be all sympathetic, which was bullshit. He was just doing something to try to rile her up, which he did. Window breaks, she goes down to see Vision, and she does a little, her little energy thing to his head, and then she kind of said very sadly, I can't feel you. I can't feel you. Because I heard that she said this line to Vision, I think it was in Endgame or Infinity War. I think it might have been Endgame where she says, I feel you to him or something like that. Or he did. I have to go back and look. So that was an important line. So she just ends up walking out of the Sword place without Vision. Now, Hayward, that dick, showed a video some episodes back saying that, oh, Wanda broke in and stole Vision, which wasn't true. So obviously he doctored it and edited the video to make it look like she did. So basically, she hops in her car, saw this little note or whatever, and drives and goes for a long drive to Westview. Sees Westview, the little rundown small town, looks nothing like, where she was living now. So, and she goes to this little, and as she's driving through the town, she sees all the familiar faces of the people, in her little TV show that she created. And then she goes to this little vacant lot of a little foundation of it. Looks like a house that was there or going to be. And she just kind of walks in and she opens up this little deed that obviously Vision was busy doing some stuff. He bought this plot a while back, and it says our new home, the creator something, heart with the V, so obviously it was Vision. And then you see Wanda just break down and just lose it. Kind of like when her brother died in the battle with Ultron, and she just screamed and her power just... Here, she just loses it. She finally breaks down, loses it, just screams, and all her power just... rah! Ends up creating the house. She forms a hex that blasts through the town and changes everything to black and white. Just changes everything, everybody. And now you see how she kind of created, the little make-believe world she did. So now Agatha sees how she did it, somewhat. So now, she basically, saw her create this and world and was trying to figure out, okay, what do we do here with this girl? Okay, because it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to deal with. So anyway, so we're just going to smash cut to episode 9. And because there's a lot of detail, but I just want to get right to the good stuff. Okay, let's just get right to the good stuff. All right. But then, real quick, before the last episode 8 ended, you flash cut to Hayward and all them, Dick Hayward at the compound, because now he wants to bring something online. And basically, the little drone that Wanda took down in a few episodes back had some of her residual power still on. So obviously, he used that power to create something. And as we see, it's like a clone Vision, a white Vision that he created. And basically, it's an android. So he basically sends that to go after the real Vision. So, yeah, it's getting crazy. So, next episode, now we getting good here. Now we getting good. Okay? 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 So, now, after Wanda and Agatha, get into it because she had her kids, because she ran out to the street after she was in the basement because she heard the kids screaming. She ran out there for them. Give my kids and all that. And she's like, you ain't supposed to have this magic. This is chaos magic. You the Scarlet Witch. All that. So Wanda blasts her. So now these two heifers are fighting. They getting into it. Getting down and dirty. Right? So, and in the meantime, the other white Vision shows up right before her and Agatha get into it. And she thinks it's Vision, but he looks different. So she kind of walks up to him like, Vision, looking all dreamy at him. But then he touches her, and next thing you know, man starts to try to crush her skull. She's like, what the hell? Get off me. And then next thing you know, the real Vision shows up, blam, takes him. And so next thing you know, those two Visions are all fighting. And now Agatha and Wanda are getting into it. But she realizes every time she's blasting her with her power, she's kind of absorbing it. Taking it in. And so, all that power, don't know what to do with it, blah, blah, blah. They just going back and forth, yada, yada, yada. Again, Vision and them are all fighting. And Wanda and Agatha fight. But smash cut, we go back to Monica. Because you remember Monica? Last we looked, when she looked down in the basement, next thing you know, bam, Pietro or Pietro, whatever the internet's calling him now, because he turned out to be the fake Pietro. You know that, because everyone's losing their shit, by the way, because everyone just, oh my God, that's not the Magneto and Doctor Strange did, and that's not Quicksilver. People, this show is about Wanda and Vision, character driven. All the bells and whistles are secondary, and we don't care about cameos, okay? They're telling a good story here. A good story, and that's what it's about. We're so used to the bells and whistles with Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War. We're used to the bells and whistles, all the action. That's what we want to see in characters. But no, they're doing it right. Kevin Feige is a comic book head, a comic book purist, and so that's what he's about, and telling good story. Okay? All right. Now, so Monica's in the room with fake Pietro and all that, and he's, and she's trying to find a way out, but he still has his little Quicksilver powers, or powers of Quicksilver, and she kind of stops him, but then she finds a way, kind of manhandles him, takes him down, and she uses her powers because, Monica can see a lot of electromagnetic waves and all this kind of stuff. So she sees the beads around his neck are glowing purple like Agnes's power. So she snatches those off. Next he snaps out of that trance he was in. So, oh, don't hurt me. So now he's, back to normal. So that's handled. So now we go back to Vision and Vision fighting, Monica and Agatha fighting. And so, but then Vision and them, they get into a real deep fight to the point where they start getting philosophical because he says, I'm programmed to kill Vision. And then Vision starts to break down, but, I'm really not Vision. And he tells some like boat story or whatever, really breaking it down, get all psychological and, literal and all that. And, it said, but what if the boat is not the real boat, with all the original parts and blah, blah, blah. And he's saying, it's like, I need more information. So they having their conversation. Get to back to Wanda and Agatha. They still fighting and carrying on in the streets and in the sky and blah, blah, blah. Hayward's little dick ass shows up, wants to take the kids out. Can't believe the man, pulled a gat on some kids. Little baby kids, I guess, to him. So, and he takes a shot at the kids, but Monica shows up and she does her little, photon stuff where she turns into pure light. The bullets go through, kind of slow the bullets down. But one of the kids, the Maximov, Billy, I believe. Make sure I got that right. Billy, one who has his mama powers. Stops the bullet, in time, and the little one that's like, like that, Tommy, takes the guns from the other shoulders, and that's what soldiers, and that's what made, dickhead want to shoot him. So, yes, I know I'm all over the place, So, that happened. And then Monica and Agatha still going at it. They're up into the sky and all that. And she goes, all that power, blah, blah, blah. And Wanda's like, fine, I don't want the power. Here, take it. And so she starts wailing power at her. Wailing. But first, she played a little trick on her, though, at first. She, she kind of disappeared on her, and then she came around. Bam, Wanda did a little mind thing to Agatha like she did with Thor, Tony, and Bruce and all of them back in the Age of Ultron, where it made her appear back on, when she's back on that post, about to get zapped by her covenant. But, Agatha was slick to that. And next all the sisters see Scarlet, and they all started going after her. Deep. And that's just supposed to be an illusion, too. That's how deep these witches get with their powers. So, and so that happened, and all that gets snapped out of. Then, that's right, get back to the Vision and Vision fighting. Once they finally figured everything out about their little conversation, Vision decides to show him something. You know, he basically touches his the white Vision. Regular Vision touches white Vision's forehead. Basically, he has the original Vision's parts, which means he has his memory too. So basically, he touched his forehead and unlocked all the past memories that the original Vision had, which kind of made him freak out. And so he just takes off. All right? So that was deep. So Wanda and Agatha again going at it. He says, here, take all the power, take all the power, take all the power. Right? And as she's taking her power, she's like, yeah, give it to me, girl, give it to me. I don't mean that freaky, but, you know, just blast me, blast me. But in that meantime, Wanda was playing a little illusion on her. As she was doing that, you know, she was hitting the hex wall. She was actually putting up, it turns out, because then Agatha tried to blast the powers back to her when she saw that she was drained. You know, she was starting to look all dead and stuff. Wanda was starting to look all dead and everything. And Agatha tried to blast her, but it didn't work. She was like, what the hell? No, go. Haruken. Kama. Nothing. Turns out, just like in Agatha's basement, Agatha had all these symbols around the room, basically saying no other witch can use her powers within these symbols. Only she can. So Wanda did a reverse and did the same thing to her. Had the symbols up on the hex walls that are surrounding the town, the city, or whatever. And she just freaks out like, oh, what the? Oh, damn, girl. You gonna do me like that, really? Oh. Anyway. So, bam, takes Agatha out, puts her down, and all that. And basically, you know, Agatha knows she lost and had to succumb to her and blah, blah, blah. And so basically what she ended up doing was trapping Agatha in her little sitcom character that she created in the town, and just basically trapped her in that character. So basically she went right back to who she originally was. You know, okie dokie. You know, and all that. So that was kind of cool. So, but before she did that to her, she says, you're gonna need me. She goes, well, if I ever need you, I know where to find you. Which means eventually we will see that character again. You know we will. We'll see Agatha again. So then next you know, Hayward tried to run, and as he jumps in the car and tries to pull away, bam, Darcy hits him, wondering where she's been all this time with the thing, with the van or the ice cream truck, whatever it was. So he ends up getting arrested by the FBI because obviously he broke the rules. He wasn't necessarily a villain. He was just a dick. Just, you know, whatever, like John Campea says. So, I know I might be leaving some stuff, but I just want to get to the good stuff. All right, that's basically what I'm doing. So, after all that fight went down, and that's right, beforehand, all the townspeople were surrounding Wanda when she walked into town looking for Agatha when they first started fighting. And they recognized her and, you know, I was asking, oh, release us and all this kind of stuff because Agatha snapped him out of the trance Wanda had him under. So they all started going after Wanda, you know, release us, we're in pain. And she was like, stop, and started choking all of them with their powers. So, which is kind of interesting. So, again, like I told you, I'm all over the place, but I'm really loving this episode. Now, get back to their house. After the director and all them, you know, go. Oh, and that's right. And Monica was there. Monica, you know, she, like I said, she helped out the kids and all that kind of stuff. So her and Vision, all of the kids go back to the house. I almost jumped ahead with the Monica thing. Hold on. We go back to the house. They had their little conversation. You know, she said goodnight to the kids. And you know, she said, thank them for letting me, you know, from choosing me as your mom, even though she's the one that created them, but just a cool thing to say. Because you know what Monica's about to do. She's basically going to she took down the hex. basically, which means it starts to come in close, like the walls are closing in, the border's shutting down, so the power is starting to go away. I don't know why this didn't just crumble, but probably just a lot better doing it like this. That way, her and Vision can have time, to say goodbye. And they said we're saying goodbye to each other, all this lovey-dovey stuff, to make you get in your feelings, which it did a little bit for me, but not too bad. So they kiss goodbye, and he fades away, and the house goes away after the hex gets to them, and it goes right back to that vacant lot that she originally went to, where the house was, the vacant foundation. She's in the regular clothes. So she walks back through town, and the townspeople are all just their regular selves now. And they're all mean mugging her left and right because, what she did. Because that makes you wonder who's the real villain. If you ask me, everybody's a villain. We're just more sympathetic to Wanda because of what happened to her. But she took a whole town hostage just so she can deal with her grief in her own way. But if you think about it, that was the biggest therapy that she went through. Therapy, and everyone's dying and all that. If not dying, but everyone's, suffering through your bullshit because you're going through something. But now you feel, because you could tell after she was done, after she went through all that, because I thought she was going to lose it. But she didn't. It was kind of like, it was like a therapy. She finally was able to say goodbye. She made amends and all that. She had closure, basically. So when she spoke to Monica, and when she spoke to Monica, Monica said, or Wanda was saying to her, oh, they hate me and all that. And Monica's like, well, you don't know if they knew what you had to sacrifice. It's like, well, she had to sacrifice. She took all these people hostages. They lied. Their lives got sacrificed, basically. So, that's right. I almost forgot about this. When her and Agatha were fighting, and she realized she played that trick on her, so she basically Wanda took her power back. She was absorbing her power back. Her little crown was forming on her little, energy thing of the Scarlet Witch thing. Her headpiece, basically, was forming. And basically, bam, she went into her Scarlet Witch costume. She got the outfit, which looked pretty cool, by the way. Very nice. I can see a lot of cosplayers putting this together. Anyway, let's get back. So her and Monica were talking, and Monica basically said, hey, I don't blame you if I had your powers. If I had that power, I would have done the same thing. I would have brought my mom back. You feel it right there. You feel it right there. So Wanda ends up taking off, do her Wanda thing. And this FBI agent comes to Monica and says that, someone wants to talk to you inside the theater. You need to brief you inside. So Monica walks with this FBI agent into the movie theater, the town movie theater. She just walks in there, kind of looking around like, okay, what's going on? And the agent slowly shifts, she morphs into the Skrull. The female Skrull, the Skrulls that were in Captain Marvel and in Spider-Man Far From Home, the female one. That was with, what was that male Skrull's name? Talus, something like that. And so she basically telling Monica that, hey, he wants to have a chat with you. He wants to talk with you or whatever. And she's like, where? And she just points up. So basically, either Nick Fury or that Talus do, but I believe Nick Fury wants to talk with her. So that cuts. And so next thing you know, the credits roll, but there's an end credit scene where you have these mountains, and in the comics, the mountains are called mountains of. I wrote it down. Hold on. Patience, people. Patience. Mountains of Wondagore or something like that, I believe, which is in Sokovia. So basically, Wanda's hiding out because, she's wanted after what she did. So it shows her on the porch, drinking coffee or whatnot. Then it shows her walking back into the house. But then the camera keeps going as she kind of goes out off camera. Next you know, the camera pans into this room, like bedroom, and you see her you see a twin of her. I think she was like astral projecting. That's what you call it. And she's astral projecting herself, and she has the book of what's the book called? Hold on, Darkhold, the Darkhold book of the Damned. So basically, she's looking through the book and she's studying, doing her homework, learning more about what she can do, and what else more she could, what else more she's capable of. So she's doing her homework, and as she's doing that, next thing you know, you hear one of her kids screaming for her, "Mommy," all that. So I'm like, oh snap. So it kind of ends there, but yes, that was a real mashed up version of me telling you about both episodes, but this show was fucking awesome. Everyone out there complaining, oh, the ending was not what I wanted, and why wouldn't it? People, calm down. Seriously? Are you forgetting she's going to be in Doctor Strange 2? Huh? And not to mention the other next Spider-Man movie is going to have a tie-in with WandaVision and Doctor Strange, so there's still more to come, people. There's still more to come. So relax, chill. Okay, it's not it's not the end of the world. Everyone's just bugging. But I thought this show, WandaVision, is basically going to change the landscape of television as far as what comic book movies go. Storytelling, good writing, good acting. It's not all about the bells and whistles. Catherine Hahn did a phenomenal job as Agatha Harkness. Phenomenal. Elizabeth Olsen acting, everybody was on fire in this show, acting wise. So trust me, the doors are going to be opening for them and for other roles. Trust me, especially Catherine Hahn, because she really got down in this episode. Did an amazing job. Amazing. Everyone was awesome. Girl that played Monica Rambeau, Wu, Agent Wu, Darcy, all of them did a phenomenal job on this. So can't wait to see what else they can do. And not to mention, there is rumblings or heard talks of possibly a WandaVision 2. So we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, I loved WandaVision. Thought it was awesome. Didn't see nothing flawed about it. Yeah, it may have started off slow for some of you, but that's what the storytelling, building. You know what I mean? So, yes. So, leave some comments down below and let me know what you thought of WandaVision. If any, things that you liked, stuff I might have forgotten. Yes. So, and I will be doing, for the next one, I will be doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Can't wait for that one. Yes, sir. Can't wait for that one. So I don't know how they're going to follow up that one with Wanda, because WandaVision just knocked it out the park. Kind of like with Iron Man, because they're starting a whole new phase now. Kind of like they started off with Iron Man, and that they built off of that and went, So now they started off with WandaVision, knocked it out the park with this, so they're going to be building from this now. And they started off awesome. Awesome. So, again, comments down below. Let me know what you think. So, until next time, this is Hitman Thornton, your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful, for Raw Reaction TV. Until next time, peace out, bitches. And remember, always stay zen as fuck.